Mystery, history, cryptid creatures, and paranormal activities. This is the Creeps and Crawls Mystery Hour podcast, and I'm your host, Creeps.
Hello, Creeplings. I'm back this week with a thought that has long lingered in the shadowy corners of my mind. Dragons were real. Ever since I was a child, the allure of fantasy has held me captive. I devoured tales of dragons soaring through mystical skies, mischievous fairies flitting through moonlit glades, and a menagerie of other fantastical beings inhabiting realms beyond our own. But a persistent what if has always gnawed at the edges of my imagination. What if these creatures weren't entirely born of fantasy? What if, at their core, dragons held a root in reality? Could the colossal bones of dinosaurs, unearthed by ancient hands and bewildered eyes, be the very foundation upon which the magnificent edifice of dragon legends was built? We possess a vast graveyard of dinosaur fossils, each meticulously catalogued and assigned its scientific name. But imagine a world where the science of paleontology was non-existent. Picture ancient peoples stumbling upon these gargantuan skeletal remains, the massive vertebrae, the formidable claws, the elongated skulls, and declaring, with a mixture of awe and terror, "These are the bones of dragons." The ubiquity of dragon stories across the globe is a fascinating point to ponder. Tales of these majestic beasts are even more widespread than accounts of giants or other mythical figures. How can we truly grasp the context in which these narratives first took flight? Fire-breathing behemoths, capable of commanding the very elements, bringing fortune to some and fiery destruction to others, soaring through the skies on leathery wings, or in some tellings, slithering through the earth without them, even manipulating the currents of water. The forms and attributes of dragons vary wildly from one region to another, yet a consistent thread, a primal resonance, seems to connect them all, a striking resemblance to creatures we now recognize as dinosaurs. Some are depicted as winged dinosaurs, others as fearsome wyverns with powerful wings but no forelimbs, while still others are serpentine and wingless, like the revered oriental dragon. Even revered saints in religious lore are often portrayed in epic battles against these formidable beasts. Why are these stories so deeply ingrained in the collective consciousness of humanity? Now, it is crucial for me to state unequivocally that no definitive scientific evidence, as we understand it today, confirms the historical existence of dragons as the mythical creatures of legend. However, it's intriguing to note that even in our modern scientific lexicon, certain animals bear the evocative name, dragon, such as the armored bearded dragon and the formidable Komodo dragon. Furthermore, certain extinct species possessed features that eerily align with stereotypical dragon characteristics. Consider the pterosaurs, ancient flying reptiles with their leathery dragon-like wings, spanning incredible distances. The Quetzalcoatlus, for instance, boasted a wingspan that could reach an astonishing 30 feet. Dragons were often described as having thick, almost impenetrable alligator-like skin, or being covered in formidable scales, much like the reptiles of our past. I am far from alone in entertaining this intriguing dinosaur-dragon connection. Many historians and researchers have posited that ancient humans, lacking the framework of modern paleontology, quite naturally interpreted the awe-inspiring remains of dinosaur fossils as belonging to the legendary dragons of their tales. The renowned Greek historian Herodotus, writing centuries ago, documented the discovery of large fossils, concluding that Egypt had once been submerged beneath the sea, and even described bones that he believed to be those of winged serpents. Some proponents of this theory even argue that much of the described biology of dragons, aside from the iconic fire-breathing, is surprisingly plausible within the realm of extinct animal possibilities. While no known animal on Earth possesses the ability to spontaneously spew flames, we do have examples of thick-skinned creatures that inhabit regions near active volcanoes, hinting at adaptations to extreme heat. While the popular image of magical, fire-breathing dragons often resides firmly within the realm of fantasy, could there be a kernel of truth buried beneath the layers of myth? Perhaps, a species possessing some of these awe-inspiring traits did once exist, only to vanish from the face of the earth. Maybe we simply haven't yet unearthed the definitive evidence of such a creature, or perhaps they succumbed to extinction alongside the dinosaurs. Or, dare I speculate, maybe some ancient dinosaurs did possess a biological mechanism for producing fire, and ancient peoples, in their struggle for survival, hunted the last remaining survivors after whatever cataclysm wiped out the majority of their kind. Such colossal and powerful creatures, if real, would undoubtedly have inspired both wonder and profound terror in the hearts of early humans. Numerous compelling reasons subtly suggest that dragons might have had a basis in reality, perhaps even originating from encounters with or discoveries of dinosaurs. Simply consider the sheer volume and relative consistency of dragon accounts spanning the globe. From the slithering serpentine beasts of some cultures, to the winged wyverns of others, and the classic, four-legged, winged dragons that dominate Western mythology. We may never uncover the absolute, irrefutable truth behind these enduring legends, a fact that, as a devoted lover of mysteries and cryptids, genuinely bothers me. I crave the concrete facts that would solidify this tantalizing theory. However, as our scientific and technological capabilities continue to advance at an unprecedented rate, who is to say what future discoveries await us? Perhaps we will one day unearth definitive evidence of another extraordinary flying reptile, or perhaps we will come to a startling realization that the very fossils we have already classified were, in fact, the remains of creatures that inspired the age-old tales of dragons. Furthermore, when we consider the incredible diversity of extinct animals that have been revealed through paleontological discoveries, it doesn't seem entirely far-fetched to believe that some of these ancient giants could be the origin of what we now perceive as dragons in our modern media. It is widely accepted that ancient Greeks, upon finding the massive skulls of elephants, mistakenly believed them to be the skulls of the mythical Cyclops, attributing the single nasal cavity to a singular giant eye socket. This demonstrates a clear historical precedent for generations of people encountering unfamiliar bones, attempting to decipher their origins through their existing understanding of the world, and ultimately weaving them into their own unique cultural narratives. Up until relatively recently in human history, dinosaurs were not even recognized as the distinct group of animals we now know them to be. In fact, the very concept of dinosaurs as a separate classification is a relatively recent development. Consider the sheer strangeness of some of the animals that we know to exist, or have existed. A mammal that lays eggs? The duck-billed platypus sounds like something straight out of mythology. A mammal that can truly fly. The bat, with its leathery wings, would have seemed unbelievable to someone unfamiliar with it. A tough-skinned animal with horns and a ridiculously long, spotted neck? The giraffe seems almost surreal. These are all creatures that, if described without prior knowledge, might easily be dismissed as fantastical. So, given the bizarre and wonderful creatures that evolution has produced, who is to definitively say that some of the awe-inspiring dinosaurs weren't the very creatures that sparked the enduring legends of dragons? Think for a moment about the thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger. This recently extinct marsupial looked like a bizarre and almost impossible hybrid, the head of a dingo, the stripes of a cat, and the long stiff tail of some other unknown creature. Although officially declared extinct, persistent sightings continue to fuel speculation about its possible survival, despite the lack of definitive scientific confirmation.
Our world, even now, holds so many secrets. So much that we don't fully understand the species that have vanished and perhaps, against all odds, returned, and the countless discoveries that have only recently come to light. Now, before I turn the conversation over to you, my curious creeplings, I want to be transparent and mention that this particular episode is primarily a collection of my own musings and speculative thoughts. No extensive, peer-reviewed research has truly gone into this. It's more of a fascinating amalgamation of intriguing tidbits and ideas I've encountered and pondered over the years. Therefore, I cannot provide specific citations or a comprehensive bibliography. And legally, I must emphasize that this video is intended for entertainment purposes only. However, deep within my cryptid-loving heart, I genuinely find this theory to be incredibly compelling, a tantalizing possibility that just might hold a spark of truth. But now, the stage is yours. What do you think? 1. Considering the prevalence and remarkable consistency of dragon descriptions across a vast array of diverse cultures and spanning immense stretches of time, what profound insights might this suggest about the potential origin of these enduring legends? Could this widespread consistency point towards a shared, real-world encounter with a now extinct creature? Or could it be attributed to something else entirely, perhaps a fundamental archetype within the human psyche? 2. If, in our modern world, a creature possessing even a handful of classically dragon-like features were to be definitively discovered by science, for example, immense size, the presence of scales or armored hide, usual and prominent appendages, like horns or large wings, how would this groundbreaking discovery fundamentally impact our current understanding of ancient myths and folklore? Would such a revelation blur the established lines between what we currently categorize as real and what we consider purely mythical, potentially forcing a re-evaluation of countless ancient narratives? Don't forget to share your fascinating thoughts and theories in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed delving into this chilling possibility with me, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the strange and unexplained. Stay curious, stay critical, and above all, stay creepy, my friends.